is. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Sorry for the slight delay. We're glad to have you. We are at 9:03, so we won't wait too long for more people to join us before we get underway. Good morning, everyone. Let's get started. Welcome to our next 2023 Arts and Accessibility Cooperative morning meetup. My name is Natalie Webb, and I am the Art and Accessibility Coordinator with MindsEye. I will be the facilitator today. I am a 30-year-old white woman with long brown hair. Some general reminders to start us off. This webinar will be recorded. The recording will be emailed to all registrants in a few days. Along with the recording, you'll also receive a list of resources. The video will also be available on MindsEye's YouTube channel. Today, we'll be using the Q&A box as well as the raise your hand function. Please feel free to go ahead and drop your questions into the Q&A box, and we'll try to get through as many of those as we can at the end. But you're welcome to add those at any time during the webinar. Also, during the Q&A, you may raise your hand if you'd like to speak, and we will go ahead and permit you to turn on your microphones. Closed captions are available via communication access real-time translation. Just select the CC button on your bottom toolbar. We also have American Sign Language interpreters with us. Select the interpretation option on your menu. It looks like a little globe, and that should select that channel for you. Live audio description is also available. Please use the live voice code 803124. I will post a QR code for that shortly. Chat to everyone has been disabled due to its interference with screen readers. You may still chat directly with panelists or with me as the host. If you aren't already a member of our Facebook group, you can find us at facebook.com/groups/ACACSTL. And here is that large QR code. It is in the center of your screen. You can scan that and it will take you to a page where you have two options. You can either download the app or you can select Join in Browser. If you select the Join in Browser option, it will autofill a code for you and then just select Join Live Event. If you already have the Live Voice app, you can just enter this code and it will take you to our AD. Again, that code is 803124. We can add that into the chat as well. We would like to acknowledge that MindsEye is located in Belleville, Illinois, the ancestral lands of many people, including those commonly known as the Quapaw, Miamia, Osage, Kaskaskia, and Kickapoo. We also acknowledge those who passed near our area during their forced removal, including the Cherokee, Delaware, Sac and Fox, and Shawnee. The process of knowing and acknowledging the ground beneath our feet is a way of honoring and expressing gratitude for the people on this land before us. This is a map of the St. Louis area with several overlapping colors, each representing a different nation that lived on this land before us. You can find the interactive map at native-land.ca. We have a wonderful lineup of speakers today, a return to our panelist style, and we may be a little biased, but we think they're pretty awesome. And we've had wonderful working relationships with all of them. And of course, Megan is herself with MindsEye. We're excited to have them speak on some great best practices and how you can get the most out of your relationship with your access providers. To start us off, I'd like to introduce Judith from Here Inc. She will be our first presenter of the day, and she's gonna go ahead and turn it over to her. Judith, thank you so much.
Good morning. Thank you so much. I really appreciate being asked to present today and happy to share information on best practices utilizing remote captioning services. And before I begin, I am a woman who is white, born blonde, and I've worn glasses since I was 8 years old. Today, I'm wearing black frames. Just a tidbit. Okay, 6 points that we find are very important to a successful captioning event. Number one, a real-time captioner. Number two, great audio. Testing the setup before an event, not interrupting one another. Information about the event, and a point of contact. Number one, the captioner. Captions are provided by real people. They are trained stenographers capable of transcribing up to 250 words per minute. The captioner typically works remotely and will listen in to a meeting or an event as an attendee. The captions stream back to the user either in a platform or our caption streaming platform in real time with virtually no delay. And if you're using the captioning feature today on the Zoom call, you'll see words on the screen, and the person producing those words is LaDonna. LaDonna is a real-time captioner who works for Here Inc. Here Inc. provides captioning services using real people for the highest level of accuracy with no delays in the caption stream. We use only experienced captioners based in the US for the highest level of accuracy and confidentiality. The captions allow your attendees to fully participate in the event. So it's your reputation, and don't trust it to a machine. Okay, the audio. Number two, audio is critical. Clear audio, both in the room and online, starts with a plan. When you start your planning process, be sure to include a line item for audio. Poor audio quality can keep your message from reaching your audience. In addition, the quality of the audio is very important to accurate captions. If possible, the speaker's full face is viewable, as seeing the speaker's mouth can sometimes be an additional asset when there are audio difficulties. When preparing for an event, some questions you'll need to ask to ensure good audio. Will presenters be in person, remote, or both? Will in-person presenters need a microphone to be heard clearly in the room and online? Will in-person presenters be seated at a desk or standing at a podium? Or will they be wandering around the room while they present? Will you have question and answer sessions? In-person presenters should always plan to wear a portable or wireless microphone for best results with quality captioning. And if you don't have one, you can reach out to us and we can direct you to good quality USBs. Using a built-in microphone on a laptop generally produces less than optimal results. particularly when speakers wander away from their laptop. If you have remote presenters, they should also use a microphone as well, or at least a headset. Again, the built-in microphone on laptops are generally less than optimal. And if you're fortunate enough to have an audio-visual team, bring them in onto your team that gets involved in the process for the event you are planning. Most importantly, always speak loudly and clearly, because if the captioner cannot hear what is being said, they cannot caption the spoken word. Number 3, test, and test some more. Once you have your plan, you'll need to make sure it works. And hopefully you will have access to the meeting room or conference room a few days in advance of your event. And you'll have an audio-visual support team to get involved as well. Make sure you set things up as you would for the day of the event, including an online session with your remote presenters. Listen to how things sound in the room. Walk around. Make sure that the audio is clear to everyone in the room and online. And if you plan a question and answer session, make sure you have a portable microphone for the in-room audience so everyone can hear the questions. And if you don't have a portable microphone, ask the event moderator to repeat questions so online attendees can hear in-room questions. And for the online audience, encourage them to use the chat feature so the moderator can read the questions aloud. Let's see, number 4. Do not interrupt. This is difficult for me. We all speak quickly when we are excited about our topic, or when we know the topic very well. But please take your time, enunciate, speak at a moderate rate of speed, and let the person speaking finish their train of thought before you proceed to your question. And number 6, this is number 5 slide, information about the event. So provide access to preparation materials such as the show script, if possible, when enough in advance of the program, enough in advance for the program so it's useful to the captioner. These materials are used by the captioner to familiarize themselves with key names, subject matters that will be discussed during the program, allowing for more accurate captions. These could include song lyrics when appropriate, so the captioner can adequately be prepared for live performances, a run of show, the speaker, the bio of the presenters, slideshows that will be running. There's a lot of useful information in those for accurate captions. And if possible, is there a website that you can direct the captioner to look for information that will be helpful to the captioning? If you have pre-recorded videos, have they been pre-captioned? If so, we can clear our captions out during that portion and allow the captions that are pre-recorded, pre-captioned run. And if not, we can go ahead and caption that video live. Lastly, a list of sponsors' names are important so we don't spell them wrong. Okay. The point of contact. Point of contact, very important. Someone we can reach out to for information on specific topics. A cell phone or an email is critical, period. That's just a quick synopsis of what's important in utilizing remote captions. And I thank you so much for allowing me to present today. We hope that you find these tips helpful in planning your next event, and let us know, call or email me at the information below, and I can answer your questions, hopefully. Thanks again. That's it, Natalie.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Judith. And LaDonna, who's working hard right now. Yes, we've had an excellent relationship. MindsEye For ACAC, we personally use Hear Inc. They've always done wonderful work for us, and we thank you guys so much for being here today, and excited to have you here in a different capacity. So thank you.
Thank
Uh,
you.
you're welcome. Yeah. On to our next wonderful presenter. We have Marena from Deaf Inc. Also have our interpreters here from Deaf Inc. as well. Another long-standing relationship. They've always done amazing work with us, and we're excited to have you guys here as well presenting. You're also part of our steering committee, so thank you. This is a kind of committee-led session, and I'll go ahead and turn it over to you, Marena. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Natalie. Before I start, my name is Marena. I am the Interpreting Department Manager at Deaf Inc. And I'm very excited to be here and was invited today. I am a 25-year-old white female with a little longer than shoulder length blonde hair and a green shirt. So just before I get a little bit into interpreting services, specifically about Deaf Inc., we provide outreach, community programs, and accessibility services. So we're kind of an all-in-one. Interpreting services falls under service accessibility. Our department has been around for about 15 years, so we've grown our roots here a little bit. Our department operates 24/7 every single day of the year. Primarily, we operate obviously during business hours, but we will have someone ready and on call to meet the customer needs. We provide the coordination of services in order to secure an interpreter, assign them, and make sure everyone is set up for their presentation, meeting, whatever they need. We provide support and advocacy if needed. If we have to contact an individual and maybe they aren't familiar with deaf culture or how things work in order to request an interpreter, we are more than happy to sit down and have that conversation or just provide any support we can. And then we also participate in interpreting mentorship. So students in ITP or interpreter training programs are paired along with some of our certified and licensed interpreters so that they can gain the field experience needed to grow and develop their skills to become future interpreters successfully. So it's very important to have a few considerations when requesting an ASL interpreter. But first of all, ASL interpreters are important. They facilitate communication between a deaf and hard of hearing or hard of hearing individual and a hearing individual or someone who just does not know sign language. This can include educational settings, medical appointments, legal, business, performance settings, really any environment that communication takes place can also utilize an interpreter. It's very important because interpreters such as Tyler and Sarah, who are participating in this meeting, they ensure that communication is accurate, complete, and so that all parties involved are fully able to participate in that conversation. And participants such as you guys who are reaching out and trying to gain more information shows that commitment for accessibility and inclusion. So I'm really excited to be able to talk with you guys today. Really, in order to request an interpreter, the main thing is just be prepared to provide the information needed to our coordinators. Because of the interpreter, there is an interpreter shortage. It came on from a variety of different factors, but in order to successfully fulfill your request and meet the needs, We ask that you submit a request as soon as you know about it, and it gives us ample time to prepare and get all the paperwork done beforehand. Minimum about 48 hours. That's what we typically like. However, like I mentioned before, we are 24/7. So we can and will work on last minute assignments as well, and we'll work up until the time of the assignment. When I say be prepared, I mean, please be ready to provide an event name, the date of the event, the start time, end time, location, description of the event, just so that we can get familiar and realize what kind of interpreter, what level they should be assigned to. If the audience is larger, if it's just a one-on-one meeting, that impacts what kind of environment the interpreter will be involved in. Specifically for performance interpreting, if an event lasts more than 1 hour, we will be utilizing a team of 2, such as Sarah and Tyler today. If it's something like a performance, we ask that you allow for prep time. Possibly if there's a rehearsal or an option where the interpreter can sit in and be able to watch the performance and get insight for effective communication. And as always, lighting, if you have a stage performance, we want to make sure that the interpreter is able to be seen by the deaf and hard of hearing audience, if they can have a separate light on them, and allow them a place on stage or slightly off stage so that they are easily seen by the audience, and possibly have a section specifically for deaf and hard of hearing individuals closer to the interpreter. For interpreters, if you can, please provide as much prep material as possible, such as scripts, lyrics, if it's a performance, if it's a meeting itself, any sort of specifications like, oh, this is an interview, we'll be talking about A, B, and C. That allows them time to familiarize themselves with using the sign specific in that setting. And these are just some considerations and takeaways. All Missouri ASL interpreters are required to be licensed and certified. There are 3 different levels. There is the basic, master, or basic, advanced, and masters. With each level, an interpreter is able to go to more and more settings. For example, basics, who would be the newest interpreters, licensed and certified interpreters, are unable to work in healthcare, behavioral health, or legal. However, advanced and masters are able to go to those. As I said before, anything over 1 hour, especially if it's over 2 hours, or if it's a larger event like trainings, conferences, performances, large groups, anything like that, they do require a team, and that helps us protect our interpreters from mental and physical strain on their bodies for a longer duration of time. And the best way to prepare for this is honestly to build a budget for accessibility services. That way you have a plan in place if the time comes where a service is needed. As always, I am from Deaf Inc. I don't believe I listed my contact details, but I can add it and ask it to be sent out as well. Our 24/7 helpline for our interpreting department is 314-968-8868. And you can always contact us at interpreting@deafinc.org. Thank you so much for letting me present to you guys today.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Marina. That was so helpful. And I know, especially as people start returning to live events and things of that nature, uh, as we are we truly post-COVID? I don't know, but certainly more and more we're opening things back up, and I think you've brought some really important things to keep in mind um, as people want to make those events accessible in addition to their virtual events. Next up, we have Megan, our own MindsEye's own Magan Harms, the famous Megan. Uh, she will be presenting today on, of course, audio description. And Megan, I will turn it over to you. I'm sure this audience knows you well by now.
Yes, I'm setting my timer. Hi, my name's Megan. I'm the Arts and Culture Director. I think many of you know me, and I am a white woman in my mid-40s with long gray hair and glasses. So I get the easy part because the other two covered a lot of what I was going to say. So I also get to be a little meaner and a little rougher, a little more direct than what they were. So I have one slide, so don't get too excited. So first, know your contract. What are you supposed to provide? A script, a seat, an advertisement? Please don't make me enforce your contract. Know what's in your contract. And when does your contract end? Is it for one event, for a full season, for a year? It's helpful if you know your contract. Next is budget. It's not in your budget because your organizational leadership did not put it in your budget. You've all heard me say that many times. We don't have the budget for that. You do, you just didn't put it there. You don't call Ameren and say, we need you to turn on the electricity in our building, but we didn't budget for that, so we're not going to pay you. Either you have it or you don't. So you may not have the money specifically budgeted for it, or you may have a lower working amount of money available, but don't tell me you don't have the budget for it because you make the budget. Next, understand the ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act. It's been 30 plus years. So audio description, ASL, hearing assist devices, captions, and many other things are considered auxiliary aids and services, according to the Americans with Disabilities Act, which makes them reasonable modifications. The law requires reasonable modifications for all public spaces. And I'm going to get a little middle school speech class here. I'm going to give you some definitions from dictionary.com. Compliance: to act or be in accordance with wishes, requests, demands, requirements, conditions. And in our case, that means the ADA. So you are not breaking the law. You are following the guidelines of the Americans with Disabilities Act, which is the floor, not the ceiling. That's compliance. Accessibility: the quality of being easy to approach, reach, enter, speak with, use, or understand. So we all need to at least be in compliance. We would prefer to be accessible. So next, box office. Your ticketing department or box office needs to know and understand what services you provide. When are those dates and how to request? We don't offer that is never an acceptable answer. Who should they contact? A good answer would be, that's not a service we currently provide. Tell me more about what you're looking for. When would you like to come? and how may I contact you? That means even if you're using MetroTix or Ticketmaster or any place that someone is answering the phone, they need to understand what services you provide. Promote. Please promote your accessible features. I'm going to be very straight here. We, meaning all access providers, we do not provide people with disabilities. We do not supply them to come to your events. They may not want to come to your events. So please promote them. If your theater or your museum or your venue has been around for 5 or 10 or 50 years and you've never had these services, your patrons will not know or believe that you have them unless you tell them. I think many of you have heard me say we've had patrons who have come back to us and say, oh, they don't have that there. Yes, I was literally just there. I was the person providing the service. But if no one knows, even if I tell them, they may not believe me because you didn't tell them. So next, the description team knows best, usually. We understand that you do know your show or your photographs or images or your museum better than we do. And we love your input and we really want to know as much as we can, and that makes our lives easier. However, sometimes asking for changes in wording or additions or subtractions best serves you or your organization, not the person listening to the audio description. We don't censor or hide things like her wig fell off. And this literally happened to me this weekend. I was at a show and I haven't even had a chance to tell Natalie this yet. I was at a show and a dancer's pants were starting to fall down. And the dancer behind her reached up and literally grabbed them and yanked them up and was holding them up while the dancer was trying to hold onto her hat, which was also falling off, and the front of her pants. And neither one of them could stop laughing. They were giggling and they were trying to tap dance. It was not going well. And of course, half of the audience was also laughing. And I was the describer and I was laughing. So of course, I was saying, this is what's happening right now. Obviously, that is not what was meant to happen. And I think at that particular show and that particular audience, they would have wanted me to describe that. But I think it's important to know that as access providers, we tell it like it is. That's our job. So next, as I look at my clock, stay on time. Yes, things change, but be respectful of your access providers' times. These meetups have an end time because we schedule access providers from time A to time B, and don't decide, this one always gets me, oh, we can stay as long as you want. And expect your providers to just keep going. Marena just talked about having the difference between having one ASL interpreter or needing 2. You can't just keep going. So please keep that in mind and or be prepared to pay extra because of that. And if you realize something is going to be beyond the time given, let them know ASAP. And we recently, just last week, had someone call and say, hey, I know your describer was supposed to preview this tomorrow, but there's going to be a whole lot more stopping and starting than we had anticipated. So are you sure that's the best day for them to preview? And we changed it and it was very helpful. Kind of related to that, keep us informed. Are you canceling or postponing tonight's show because of illness or power outage or dragon rampage? Your service providers need to be on the first to contact list. We need to know the same time as your crew. We send direct contact information out, and I know everyone, all the other service providers here do that as well, to whoever is going to be at that event. We need to know the same time as your crew because we arrive early for those events. And we've actually had events where we found out on Facebook that something has been canceled when we're getting ready to go there, Or we've had patrons who have called us and said, hey, I just got this email because I purchased a ticket that said it's been canceled and we didn't know it was canceled. So it's really simple. Add that information to your contact list. Yes, you have to pay us. Even when someone doesn't show up, as far as a listener. Do you call the company who installed your wheelchair ramp and say, hey, we've been watching and no one's used this wheelchair ramp, so we're not going to pay you for the installation? All of these are services. MindsEye, Deaf Inc., Hear Inc., we are service providers. And there's a lot of work and training and logistics involved to prepare for your events. So yes, you have to pay us. Also, sorry, you aren't the most important client that we have. For the month of June, MindsEye has 30 events, 10 of those in 1 week. And I know it's hard for everyone to accept that they aren't the most important in everyone else's life, but it's really hard when you think that. And we work on the schedule of what day our event is scheduled for. So even if you have a 5-week run of your show, I'm not basing my schedule on your 5-week run of your show. I'm basing our schedule on the one day that we're going to be there. And don't expect access providers to know our schedule and your schedule. If you think you're going to be too busy to give us the information that we need for the day we're going to be there, give it to us early. Send those scripts as soon as they're locked. Send photos as soon as they're taken. Send something early, and it just makes everyone's life easier. Next, plan. Don't wait until the last second or until someone makes that request that you are required by law for a reasonable modification. Don't wait to contact us. I know that at Deaf Inc., it's 48 hours. We ask for 30 days. We are small and we have a lot of events. And we might not be able to get you on our schedule if you wait until the last minute, or we might not be able to get you the description team that is most suitable for your needs. So please plan. And most importantly, everyone in your organization needs to know. Everyone needs to know what services you provide and understand what they are and the difference between ASL and audio description, the difference between a hearing assist device and an audio description device, which, yes, sometimes look exactly the same. Sometimes our teams can't get to their seats because ushers won't let them. We've even had problems sometimes getting into buildings. Ushers oftentimes don't know what people are asking for when they're looking for us. And that's extremely frustrating for a patron who has received information from me saying, we'll be there at this time in this place. And the usher, they ask an usher, how do I get to this place? And they say, we don't know what you're talking about. However, there are usher success stories, and one just happened on Monday, so it's conveniently timed. The Cardinals, the St. Louis Cardinals, have pregame meetings with their ushers. And we described on Monday, and an usher 2 levels above us, halfway around the stadium, talked to a family with a partially sighted son and let them know that they had audio description for that game. And this family came from Alabama, and they've never heard about MindsEye. They had no idea that audio description was available. And the usher was able to direct them to the section where we were located. And I gave him a Braille scorecard and a homemade tactile of the field, which we can talk about some other day, which was really cool. I told them where other people were sitting that were blind, and they actually went to the ticket window and upgraded their seats so they could sit closer to us, even though they didn't need to. They could be anywhere in the stadium, but also so they could sit closer to other people who were blind. And that was one usher. To be clear, Busch Stadium holds over 47,000 people. And I assume that they have hundreds of ushers. If they can figure out how their ushers can understand who we are and why we're there, places with 5 ushers or 10 ushers or 30 ushers can figure it out, because this 12-year-old boy was super excited that he was getting this access need. So yay for a happy ending. And I'm so glad that I didn't end with the bad story of this just happened and it was terrible. So that's what I have. And there are many, many more things I could say about this, but it's 9:45 and I've already gone over my time. So that's all I got for you. Thanks, Natalie.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And that story still gets me. I know that I've heard it already, but it's yeah, it's just awesome. Now we are going to open things up for our Q&A. So if you haven't dropped your questions, or I don't see anyone with a raised hand, but please feel free to take this time to ask anything or make comments as well. I shouldn't say it's just a Q&A. We are pretty laid back. This is a very open space. So if you'd just like to make a comment towards something, please feel free to do that as well. Either in the chat or you can drop that in the Q&A. If not, I have a question for all of our panelists, really. You know, we talked a lot about expectations for venues, for, of course, people working with us on the access provider side, but there are a lot of freelancers and things like that in these spaces. And what are reasonable kind of documentations or credentials that these venues can ask for as they start a relationship with an access provider? You know, to ensure that, in particular, I'm thinking of ASL, but I know Judith did mention it in her presentation as well. You know, reputable and ideally local, but certainly people who aren't exactly qualified. There have been some high profile, I'm sure other people have seen them as well, some kind of high profile instances of ASL interpreters who either were, you know, best case scenario, not at the level they needed to be to do that work, and worst case, they just didn't sign at all. So any of our speakers who would like to take on this question, please feel free to unmute yourselves.
Natalie, this is Judith.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So most of our work comes from references from institutions we have worked with in the past. But in the early stages, we reached out, of course, to companies and schools, universities, churches, entities, notifying them of our service. And we have asked for contracts, and we don't get involved unless we have a contract with an organization, be it, you know, a university, a church. We get many of those, are a venue of the Fox or whatever. So we have not had any issues yet with that being said, that any, that the work we provide is not to that level. And I haven't really heard from that in the captioning industry. I know it must go on, but contracts are important. And once we our work does come from word of mouth, because we've been out in the field for quite a while now.
Right. Yeah. Which, yes, that helps if it's
It does.
reference
But
on both sides for sure.
yes,
Thank you.
welcome.
I can answer that too, but Marina, do you want to take that next?
Sure. So like how you said about some freelance, in my case, it would be interpreters. I know Missouri specifically requires a license and certification. If you are going with an agency, specifically with Deaf Inc., all of our interpreters must be licensed and certified. If you are contacting a freelance interpreter, you need to verify their credentials and possibly just take a look at their resume and see, maybe you want to check them out a little bit. But as long as they have a certification license, Missouri has deemed them fit. And also, kind of how I mentioned before, certain levels are available to go to certain locations, where a basic cannot go to a medical facility. They are licensed and certified. However, at that level, they're not allowed to go to that facility just because it's more complicated, and Missouri feels they need to grow a little bit more. So just make sure to check out their credentials. And then if you have any questions, kind of like how Judith said, everything is word of mouth. And we're always here. If you want to contact us, we can't provide any like definite answers, be like, oh no, don't work with them. But we can tell you in our experience, X, Y, and Z working with them.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And yay. Megan, go ahead.
Yeah, I will add to that audio description is different. There is no current certification to be an audio describer, and it is in the works. There is an organization called ACVREP, that is REP, that is working on certification for audio description and have been working on it for about 5 years. So, and that's not an exaggeration. Hopefully someday that will happen. But so there are basically anyone can just decide that they're going to be an audio describer. So I strongly suggest that you find out what kind of work that they've done. And even we at MindsEye, all of our describers on our team go through our training. So just to put that out there, there's no they can't hand you any documentation that says that they are certified audio describer. The big point is if they do, it's not true. There's no such thing. They might hand you a paper certificate that they got at the end of a training somewhere. That does not mean they're certified.
Awesome. Thank you guys. And we do have a question here in the Q&A box. Says, I know there's a high turnover in front of house staff and there are often volunteers for small venues. In addition to Megan's story, have any providers seen a system in use that was especially successful at keeping staff informed about service provisions? That's a great question.
I can start with that one too. Some places, actually, a lot of places who have volunteer ushers we'll send out an email with basic information, what time you have to be there, what you should wear. And there are some places, I believe Metro does this. They include on this date, we will have audio description. And I mean, we just need basics that you maybe not be surprised how often people confuse audio description for individuals who are blind with ASL or hearing assist or captions or things that are for people who are deaf. And when the ushers can't decipher between blind or deaf is a problem. So just something as basic as we will have audio description for individuals who are blind or partially sighted. That's really helpful to go out in an email. Even if there's not an email that goes out in advance, most places will have a really short meeting with those ushers that just says, here's what's happening today. Just so they know audio description is available. We are generally only at an event once or twice, depending on the size of the venue. So you, again, might have a 5-week run and we'll be there one time. So just making sure they know on that day. Another thing is we would love for all of our venues to have signage on the day that we're there that just says today's performance is audio described. It doesn't need to say MindsEye. It doesn't need to say anything. It doesn't need to have a date on it. Just today, this is available, because it's not just for the people who are blind or partially sighted. It's for all the ushers and all the other people that are there who are asking what's she doing over there? Why does she have a light on a stand? So we would love for everyone to have a sign that says that. But pre-event meetings, super simple.
I completely agree with Megan. Typically in my experience, they'll just have I won't even say like a training, just like a little group meeting, be like, hey guys, this is what it's looking like today. If you have any questions about this, refer to this person, and the sign itself, like in our case, it would be ASL interpreters. This show will be interpreted using American Sign Language. That way they don't think the person on the stage with the spotlight on them is just kind of, they're being weird. But definitely,
Right.
if you have a new group of ushers, like if it's a volunteer who, the same volunteers for a show and it's that group, each time you get a new group or you have a lot of people coming in, just be like, hey, this is what we provide. This is what you do with that. It's very simple, very easy, and it provides open communication.
Awesome. Yeah. And I will say I'm still pretty new to this, and I have already experienced that both just like personally and then also a patron trying to return a hearing assist device to us. And she's saying too, and we ask typically that people turn over their IDs in return for an advice, and here this woman who I had not seen at all was asking me for her ID back, and I was like, this isn't our device. I'm so sorry, and I definitely don't have your ID. I don't know who you talked to. So more importantly, yeah, it's confusing for your patrons as well, and you want to have an exemplary service for them above all. So, and Judith, you unmuted yourself. Would you like to?
Yes, thank you. Megan, is that, and Marena, would that be a question when you're contracted for an event to maybe say, hey, could you add this to the brochure?
That goes
you
back
probably
to my
already
number
do
one
that.
point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Know your contract. Yes, it is in your contract that you do that.
Sure.
But they don't.
But they still don't. Yeah. Okay. I get it. Thank you.
Well, awesome. We are nearing the end of our time here. And as we've just discussed, we have service providers with us and we need to stick to our schedule. So I'm going to go ahead and end our Q&A and close us out. Special thanks to today's speakers, Judith, Marena, and Megan, our ASL interpreters, Tyler and Sarah, They're especially that last minute call up, our CART interpreter from Here Inc., LaDonna, our audio describer from MindsEye, April. Thanks to our sponsors, Ameren, Illinois. We are a proud member of United Way. And also, we'd like to thank Lighthouse for the Blind, St. Louis, for their continued partnership. If you would like to become a sponsor, we have options available. We've kept these meetups free, but we do incur costs, and we are always looking for sponsors to pay for speakers, ASL interpretation, live captioning, all of our accessibility offerings for these sessions. If you would like to learn more, please email Laura for more information, and we will also include her info, as well as all of our speakers' infos in the follow-up email that will go out. And lastly, of course, thank you all for joining us today, and hopefully every bi-monthly meeting that we host. We're so glad to have you here, and we really enjoyed these sessions. Please, if you will, take a moment to fill out the survey if you have time. We really appreciate it, and it helps guide our work in the future. Thank you all so much, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. See you guys next time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Have a good one.